Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So I just got the urge to make a video. Last night I missed DZ's live, but I caught it this morning, and so I wanted to say something about that live because that live had a bunch of things I wanted to say something about when it comes to that. There's a lot going on. And we see it on TikTok, we see it on YouTube, we see it all over social media. These diaspora wars. And if you don't know what a diaspora war is basically Black Americans and Caribbeans and Africans going after each other. Rarely do you hear people talk about the Black Canadians and the Black British, but the Black British are online talking a little smack about Black Americans too. Not that much. You even got some of those white people from the UK on TikTok making really harsh commentary about America. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of discussions going on. There's a lot of panels going on. And so I'm not surprised that that whole diaspora war thing hit the divestment panel. I'm not surprised about that. I knew it was coming. You know, we try to brush everything under the rug or try to sugarcoat shit or try not to say certain things to offend people. But I knew it was coming because it's just all over the place. Every time I go on TikTok, you got people from other countries, Black people or Latino, Hispanic people that comes from that type of lineage, or Black people from the Caribbean or African, on TikTok, on Twitter, on YouTube, calling us out our name, calling us slur words like a kata, saying that we're useless, we're not worth anything. And so I wasn't surprised that that showed up on that panel. And that needs to be talked about. That's something that needs to be talked about because in order to be on the same accord when it comes to divestment or whatever, Black women's empowerment, those type of things need to be talked about because we sugarcoat a lot of shit around here. People act like they really care for Black Americans like that. They know they really don't. They know when they're in their private, when they're in their privacy, private places with their families, or when they're talking with people that are from the same places, they're in the same countries, they talk about us. We can see it. I just don't talk about it on YouTube because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want people to feel like I'm picking on them or I'm dragging them, or because I know that a lot of the women that follow us, even though majority of the people that follow these divestment channels are from the United States. I look at YouTube Studio, I look at where most of my subscribers are at, and they're from the United States. So a lot of times when I'm making commentary, I'm talking about Black Americans, or I'm talking about people in the United States because I don't know a lot about those other cultures. Like I see what I see on the news, I hear certain things on YouTube, but I don't know everything about Caribbeans and all that. I don't. But I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Because a lot of people come here, they imitate what the fuck we're doing. They want to talk like us, they want to look like us, they want to be amongst us. They want to be counted as Black. When, to be quite honest, a lot of these foreign Blacks do not want to be called Black. And then when you tell them, hey, you're not Black, we're not going to call you Black, then they say, oh no, I'm Black. When a lot of those Africans do not want you to call them Black. They think that's basically a slur racist word because they say that the white man came up with the word Black for Black people because it was referring to dark people or people of African descent, and they didn't like the word because they said it came from the colonizer. So they will call themselves wherever country they come from. Nigerian, or they're from Kenya or Ghana or those other African countries and stuff like that in the West Africa and stuff like that. That's what they'll call themselves. They didn't call themselves Black. Now everybody want to be Black because Black Americans made Black lit. We made Black what it is. We are the trendsetters. Regardless if you like it or not, we set the trend for Black people. And we definitely set the trend for Black people in America. Okay? We represent the country. So when you immigrate to America and you get offended because people thought you were a Black American and you get upset and say, no, I'm a Jamaican, I'm Trinidad, I'm Dominican, I'm Haitian, I'm Nigerian, and all this other stuff. Then you get upset when they think you're a Black American, but you're in a country where Black Americans dominate. This is our country. We represent what Black is here. You don't represent what Black is here because you have your own country. We dominate this country. We're the descendants of slaves in this country right here. So I don't know why you're offended when you immigrate somewhere and somebody refers to you as a Black American. You get all upset. That's not our problem. You immigrate to our country. And I hear, even on that panel last night, I heard a lot of people saying, oh, yeah, we moved to the white man's country. So you got to pay attention to the wordplay that some of these people like to use. And I'll be catching the shade. I'll be catching the shade. But even on that panel last night, DZ panel, I don't think nobody caught when they were telling them that. They were saying they moved to the white man's country. Basically saying you have nothing to do with this country. You had nothing to do with building it. You add nothing to that country. I'm moving to the white man's country. I caught about 3 of those Caribbean women saying that. Even the Caribbean women that y'all were agreeing with was basically telling you, bitch, nah, I'm moving to the white man's country. You Black Americans didn't do shit. Even the ones who claim that they like you. Y'all don't be catching the shade. Because they do a lot of ass kissing to make sure they stay in good grace with Black American women because they don't want them type of problems. So they do a lot of ass kissing with you guys. You guys don't pay attention. They all were saying that. Yes, we did immigrate here. We immigrated to the white man's land because the white man built America. The white man did this to America. Basically saying that my ancestors did nothing. That Black Americans that have been in this country well over 400 years did nothing for this country. We didn't achieve anything for this country. We didn't do anything. We didn't build. We didn't add to this country. That's what they'll say. I'm coming to the white man's country. Then when you get in an argument with them, they'll say, no, that's the white man country. That's not y'all country. That's not y'all country. But when you come into the United States and you trying to get a job, or when you filling out them college applications, because y'all smart, y'all smart, y'all go to school for, the medical field, STEM programs, y'all want to be scientists and all that. But whenever you filling out them applications, tell me what box you got to check. There's no Jamaican box on there. There's no Nigerian box. You know what you see? You see African American / Black. We represent Black in this country. Many of these other countries, like the Dominican and Puerto Ricans, they don't want to be Black. But because we make Black lit, now everybody want to be Black. Those Africans, they get offended when you call them Black. Now that we're telling them, hey, you're not Black. You're definitely not Black like us. They'll say, no, we're Black. I don't know why Black American people say we're not Black. But you've been going around for years saying you're not Black. You're not a Black American. You make sure people understand where the fuck you come from. Anytime you show up somewhere, you always telling somebody what country your ass come from, but you ain't nowhere in that country. You so proud of your country, then why don't you live there? You come to America and you disrespect us by waving them fucking flags. I don't care if you're from Mexico, the Dominican, the Puerto Rican, African, Nigeria, Jamaica, I don't care, Trinidad, y'all like to throw that flag around. When those places are not worth shit, that's why y'all here. That's why y'all immigrate. That's why a bunch of y'all is up there in New York City. That's why New York City is so dangerous. Like people talk about, oh, well, the Nigerians, they're doctors and they got all these degrees, and the Jamaicans are so smart and we're hard workers and all this type of stuff. But you never talk about the criminals that you bring to our country. the criminals that you birth on this land. You never talk about the bad people of your culture. Because believe me, you do bring criminals here, especially out that Caribbean place. You bring a lot of criminals, and that's who's up there committing all that crime in New York City. But when you turn on the TV and you see somebody black in America, everybody's a black American, African American. So when you turn on the news and you see these so-called black men committing these crimes, you'll say that's a black American man right there. So we get all of the negativity that comes with your criminals. But when you do the background of those suspects, or you look at the last name of those suspects, those people are from other countries. But we get the blame for your degenerate people that you bring here, because you do bring criminal ass sons, especially in New York City. You can tell those people are not used to much because they want to steal everything people got in New York City. They even trying to steal people's shoes off their fucking feet. Beating up the elderly for a phone. Those are Caribbeans that's up there doing that. But they'll put it off on us. See, you want to claim you're good, but you don't want to claim you're bad. Then you want to say, well, they're learning all these bad habits from Americans, from the black American man. Now, we understand that black Americans are trendsetters. You got that right now. We are the influence. We represent for the whole black globally. We're the people that they're looking at. We're the people that they're talking about. They're not talking about you guys. They're not. So that's why people will call you a black American. I mean, you're in a black American country, and they get offended when somebody call you black American. Well, if you don't want to be called black American, why the fuck you in our country? We don't have to acknowledge you from somewhere else. We know you ain't from here. We already know that. When you open your mouth, we already know where you're from, your mannerism. Some of you do not look like us, and we're going to be real with you. And this ain't throwing no shade, but people can say, oh, we look all the same. That's a lie. Jamaicans look totally different from us. Africans look different too. Totally. Those countries do a lot of bleaching. In Black America, we don't do all that bleaching like that. That's a lie. So when people like to say about bleaching and stuff, Black American women don't be doing all that. I'm sorry, we okay with our skin complexion. Most of us, even the dark skinned ones, we're not going as far as trying to bleach our face. That's a thing that's coming out of Africa and Jamaica heavy. But when you get on social media, they say you guys want to be white, you guys are bleaching your skin. No, that's not Black American women doing that, honey. We're not trying to bleach ourselves to get for the black male to desire us. Those women do that, not us. We don't do it like that. And they do that before the approval of black males. So they can be their preference. The lighter they are, they feel that they can be the black male's preference. But we are the trendsetters. We are. We control all the music genres. We control entertainment and sports. We're all over the TV. Black Americans are very vocal. We've been vocal ever since the early 1900s, once we got our ass up out of slavery. We've been a spokesperson for the black race globally. Not no damn person in Africa. Not no damn person in Jamaica. A lot of these Jamaicans came here a little bit before the civil rights movement, but majority of you came here after the civil rights movement. And you're not of our lineage. But you will come here to reap the benefits of it. You love the American dollar. And I come in contact with many of you black people from other countries. The first thing you will tell me is that you're here to work and work only. You don't care about the black people in this country. You don't give a fuck about what happened to us. You never cared. You didn't even show up when we was in slavery. You didn't show up and help us in Jim Crow. You wasn't out there marching while we was getting hosed down, dogs biting us, beaten in the head with a club. You weren't there. You just waited until everything was done so you can reap the benefit. And I'm not talking about all of you, so I hope that you don't get offended. If it's not you, it's not your situation, then let it fly. But y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all come here for the American dollar. Y'all don't care anything about our country. That's why y'all come in here and wave them fucking raggedy ass flags all over the place. Those Mexicans too. This ain't fucking Mexico. I know y'all are invading our damn country at the southern border, but this ain't Mexico. And they should have been already stopped that shit with allowing y'all to fly all those fucking flags in the United States. Highly disrespectful. That's treason. We should have been capped y'all ass. Y'all should have been catching hand and feet to y'all ass for waving those flags in the United States. Totally disrespectful. We don't go to y'all countries. We don't visit y'all countries like that. And we don't disrespect y'all countries like that. I've never been to Africa. I've never been to Jamaica, and nor do I want to go. Nor do I want to go. And that ain't no shade to you guys. But apparently you don't want to be there either because you're here in America. You don't want to be in those countries. So what makes you think I want to be in them? But we influence the black males around the globe to treat their women like shit. No, the black male was treating women like shit long, long time ago. All the way in Africa is where this shit started at. He been treating you like shit, kidnapping you, selling you to the in slavery. They've been playing hand in hand with the so-called bad boogeyman, the white man. We all wasn't kidnapped. We all wasn't sold. Some of us were kidnapped, and some of us most of us were sold. And that's just the truth. We didn't immigrate to America. My ancestors didn't immigrate here. They came in the bottom of a shipboat. Now you have some Black Americans believe that Black Americans was already here. And I do believe there were a couple of us over here. I believe that we were all across this planet, all across this globe. But majority of us, we came through that transit slave trade. The transit slave trade. We came through the boats. We didn't immigrate here. We're not the same. You guys immigrate here on your own free will. My ancestors did not. And once they got to America, they created their own culture. They became a whole new group of people. Okay, a whole new breed, pretty much. They were a whole new breed. Not the same. So that's why we say we're not African. We're far removed from Africa. Most of us have never been there. A lot of us don't even have the desire to go there. There are some Black people that'll go. And Africa probably is a beautiful place if they get it together. If they get it together, but that the governments over there are corrupt. We see it. They're corrupt, and most of those countries are ran by Black males. Their police force is Black males, and they're still out there killing and sexually assaulting women and children and all type of stuff like that. So you cannot say, oh, the Black American man influenced your men to be horrible men. Those men in Jamaica were already horrible, honey. That's why y'all got those high babies out of wedlock rate, high Black femicide rates. That's why y'all running out of there. That's why y'all coming here to get jobs, because there ain't no jobs where you at. There ain't no school where you at worth a damn. You're running so you can get underneath the white man of America. And regardless of however you see it, it wasn't just the white man that built this country. Black history is American history. We've been here from day one, since this country started. We fought in every last war in this country. My grandfather, my mother's father, fought in World War II. And because of him fighting in that war, he was awarded a lot of things. See, people don't know the truth about those Black men that went and fought in that war. My grandfather was one of them. And when he came home, he was able to achieve a lot because he went and fought in that war. When my grandfather passed away, I can't remember what year it was in the 80s, but my grandfather passed away sometime in the 80s. When he passed away, he left us with like 50 acres of land. And he got all of that through him being like a veteran of World War II. So we fought in every war. We've been the reason for a lot of these laws to be passed, especially those civil rights laws and all of those laws, the 14th Amendment, where you guys can come over here and have those children on the soil, and then your child be an American. You have abused that. The Latino community too. Straight disrespectful. They have abused that. You guys come over here just to have kids, just to get citizenship, but you don't give a damn about Black Americans in here. Then you get over here and put your head all up like you better than somebody, like we don't know where you come from. When you really about that life, you will be able to succeed in your own country. You people can't even succeed in your own country. That's why you're running. That's why you're trying to get out. You're trying to get in relationships with people to get you up out of those places. You're trying to go to school to get you up out of those places. You're coming up with any and every damn thing you can. Some of you are getting on boats trying to come down into the southern border and invade the whole goddamn country. The Southwest, that's pretty much Mexican at this point. They've allowed them to do too much over there. And they will not stop them from invading our country. Them damn Democrats. And see, once these people get into this country, these people put foot in our ass. They disrespect us and they spit on the graves of our ancestors. They have no respect for us. You go on Twitter and look up this Diaspora war. Go on YouTube. You got Black women from these other countries on the camera calling us akatas and saying that we were useless. But your ass is down there in Houston, Texas. That's a Black city, bitch. That's not an African city. But go get up on a camera and tell people we're useless. There's no use for Black Americans. But you're here in our country. Why didn't your Nigerian parents have your ass in Nigeria? And they got the nerve to have the disrespect after you sold my peoples into slavery. Then I see you guys be online joking about our peoples being slaves, thinking it's funny. Yeah, they're nothing but a bunch of slaves. They're slaves. They come from a family of slaves, a descendant of slaves. These Africans think it's funny, and they're still selling each other into slavery. They're still selling each other into sex trafficking and all type of stuff, putting those women into sex traffic, destroying those women private parts and stuff like that. It's crazy. You still got slavery going over there, and then you think you better than somebody else? Let me tell you something. We will never disrespect y'all culture if y'all stop disrespecting our culture. Stop going around telling people we don't got no culture. That's for the Black Americans. Y'all need to educate yourself. I know a lot of y'all are Gen Z and in the divestment camp. We're not about the pro-Blackness, but some of y'all need to educate yourself on your history, your very own history. Because I think some of you don't even know that. You will literally get online as a Black American and get up here and say you ain't got no culture. And you don't know where the fuck you from. Talking about going into the bloodline to find out what countries we are from in Africa. We already know we from some of those places. But your ancestors are here. We're a different breed. They've created a whole different breed, a whole different group of people. That's called Black Americans, ADOS or whatever. Because I don't really support that FBA. That's some shit that Tariq stole from the descendants of slaves in America. That he stole that whole thing from them. And he's turning that into some incel all about the black male type of shit. That's why you can't get down with these people. That's why you can't be down with their little organizations, because they turn everything into being all about the Black American man. Now, we understand the Black American man ain't worth shit. We know that. But the men in these other countries, these Black men in these other countries, they ain't shit either. Those Jamaican men ain't shit. I know they ain't shit. I got like 3 co-workers that are Jamaicans. They're older Jamaicans that have been in this country for quite a while. 2 of them are married to Black American men. So you do come to this country, you do mingle in with Black Americans. A lot of you try to get that visa and that green card off of these sorry ass niggas here. Yeah, you do marry them, because 2 of my co-workers are married to Black American men, but they are older. They are in their 40s, 50s. They've been here for quite a while. But no, you're not fooling me. They got their own things going on in Jamaica too. You're not fooling anybody. I talk to these girls all the time. They be have to send money home to take care of their children that they got in Jamaica, or their grandchildren that are in Jamaica or Trinidad, and they got to send the money home. Y'all only come here for the American dollar. Y'all can care less about what happens with us. Only time you want to be cool with Black Americans is when your ass can be elevated. Then you will say, I'm Black. Then you say, I'm black. I'm black. I'm African American. The only people that can be an African American are the people of African slaves, the descendants of African slaves in America. That's been here since what? The 1600s. That went through Jim Crow and all that, slavery and all of that. Those are what you call African Americans. Look up the definition, Google it. It does not subscribe. It does not mean somebody that comes from Africa and they're the first generation here. That's not you, because I see you Africans are doing that too. You're trying to take our term and what describes us and making it something about you. It's not. Just because it has African on here, that does not mean it's talking about you. That's why I don't even refer to the part where African American. I just say Black American. Because we're not from Africa. We don't know anything about those people. We lost that long time ago. All we know is about what they share with us, what these women from other countries share with us, or what we see on TV. We do not know, and we don't be minding y'all business like that. See, when we online and we're having these discussions about Black men and Black women in America, we're talking about our own culture. But I notice when these women from other countries, they don't talk about what's going on in their country. They don't talk about their men. Nah, honey, because when they say Black man, they means Black American man. See, that's the part y'all not catching on with these ladies. These ladies don't have a problem dragging Black American men. But when it comes to their men, they will stick up for them. They will come and say, oh, no, my man ain't like your man. My daddy ain't like your daddy. Even though they over here in America trying to get a damn scholarship or trying to get a degree or trying to work at a job so they can make money. But that's what they do. So when it comes to this sisterhood and this BWE and all of us trying to work together, divestment and everything like that, bringing women from other countries together, you know, to form a sisterhood in divestment. Y'all got to be honest. When y'all talking about Black men, y'all not talking about y'all men. I've been caught that long time ago. Even when y'all online, like that chick named Chantel Simone, that's Chantel Simone Mammy from Jamaica. When she's talking about these single mothers and talking about Black women are masculine and all this right here, she's not talking about Jamaican women. I've noticed that with these women. They're not talking about themselves. They're talking about us. They're not talking about their men. They're talking about the Black American man. So that's why they're comfortable with dragging them. I've noticed also that you will find a lot of these women from Jamaica and these other countries, they'll be on these manosphere channels. They'll be in their chat. When the Black American men are dragging the shit out of us, you will find these women from other countries monitoring their channel, supporting them. You know why? Because they feel that way about Black American women. And they enjoy that these sorry ass niggas of America is dragging the fuck out of us. They don't see themselves in us. When they're talking about Black American women, these women from other countries, they don't see themselves in them. They'll tell you straight up, I'm from Canada, I'm from Jamaica, man. I'm from Kenya. I don't got nothing to do with what they're saying about you. That's what you Black American women don't understand. So when you're on here dragging the Black American men, these women are not talking about their men. I've been peeped that. When these mammies get online from other countries and they're dragging the shit out of Black women, they're talking about Black women in America. Just like that Chantel Simone bitch. That's exactly what she's doing. She's getting a kick out of Black American men dragging the fuck out of you. So it makes her feel relevant. And she'll be quick to tell you, I'm Jamaican. I'm Jamaican. Like they somewhat better. Like the women in Jamaica are somewhat better than Black Americans. They'll say, we're traditional. No, you're not. There's nothing traditional about your people. You just share men. A lot of you share men in those countries. In Africa too. You share men. That's what you do. You don't have no traditional families like that. Give me a break. Not more than what America got. All of us are dealing with this single mother thing globally. All of us are dealing with domestic violence and physical violence and these men being pedophiles and predators and sexual assault and violent and robbing and scamming and stealing. All of us are dealing with this. All of us are dealing with this. And no matter wherever these men go, they all are a problem. So if you think your group of men are better, I know why you women get offended by that. Because when we talk about your men, you feel like we're talking about your mothering skills, your parenting skills. And so you get upset when people say, oh, your son is this, your son ain't shit. We don't want your son. We don't want your son. So these women get upset. And so they have to protect their culture. There's nothing wrong with protecting your culture. There's nothing wrong with representing your culture. But why are you representing your culture in America? Why are you bringing your culture here, hon? This is the melting pot, but this is still the United States of America. You don't get to water down the original culture of this country and then want us to focus on you. Like I saw on TikTok yesterday, they were having a big discussion, a big panel on TikTok live where this Dominican guy claiming to be black, but he's Dominican. He looks like he has African descent. He has black in his bloodline, but he's Dominican. And so he's doing these lives, asking Black Americans all these stupid, crazy questions. And he's telling us he's already immigrated to this country, him and his mama immigrated to this country. And then he's telling us, well, why do you guys call it Black History? Why do you guys call it Black History Month? You guys need to change it, and you need to make it African American History Month, because you guys are not talking about other Black people's culture. You're only focusing on Black American culture. Hey, Black History Month was made for us in our country. If you want a Black History Month, if you want somebody to talk about your history, create that shit in your own country. Or create it in your own little neighborhoods in America, because I'm pretty sure they celebrate different things. I know in New York they do. They celebrate all these different countries that's up there in the mixture of that place. That's why that place is so dangerous. People do not get why New York is so horrible, because he has too many people from too many cultures. And a lot of these people that come from these cultures are not used to having anything. So they steal and they do all this type of violence like they're out in the jungle somewhere, because they're not used to having anything. New York City is horrible. Black Americans are up there, but that's not Black Americans up there that's doing a lot of that stuff. Those are the people from the Caribbean, but they don't claim those people. They'll say they're Black Americans who are doing it. And all they do is come here and work and get all the degrees. You don't talk about the Black people that are coming from other countries that don't go home, that overstay their visas. You don't talk about that. There's a lot of immigrants that come from other places on a plane or on a boat, and they overstay their visas and they go home. I remember last year I went and did some research on the legal immigrants, because Trump was talking about that, and Trump was running off of securing the border and keeping these illegal immigrants out of here and calling them out or whatnot. And I Googled, I said, how many illegal immigrants are in this country? And we will never know the true number of illegal immigrants, because most of the legal immigrants are people who come here on a temporary visa, on a work visa or a travel visa, and they never go home. And then we have that problem at the southern border of the United States of them turning the Southwest into fucking Mexico, running amok. And they got issues with Black people too. I see them on TikTok too being racist. So people claim that there's no racism in this country. And I'm not one of those divestors that's going to sit here and tell you it's not, because it is. And you're going to face racism from people from other countries that hate America. Some of you people hate America, but your asses is here. There's some white people that come from Europe and the UK. They can't stand Americans, but their ass is here. The same thing with you Black immigrants that come here. Same thing with them Latino immigrants, them Dominicans and them Republican, Puerto Ricans or whatever they are. They do the same thing to us. They'll tell you, I'm not Black. I'm Dominican. I'm not Black. I'm Puerto Rican. I speak Spanish, even though I look dark. My skin is dark like your skin. I speak Spanish, so I'm Puerto Rican. They do this all the time in New York City. One of my aunts live in New York City. She lived right in Brooklyn. So I know a little bit about it. My parents have been there. I've never been all the way up to New York City, but I've been a couple places around here. But I never had a desire to go there because my mother always said that place stinks. And another reason why I don't have a desire to go there, they do a lot of pickpocketing, they do a lot of robbing you. It's too many people in one place, too many cultures pushed together. And I believe that's the biggest mistake America has ever made. Bringing in too many of these cultures and allowing these people to rep their set in our land, rep their flag, got their flag flying around. That's treason. We should have been put them in check about that. We should have never allowed them to do that here. If you're going to be an American, be American. If you want to be something else, take your ass back there. You don't get to disrespect this country. And you are not going to turn it into a third world country. You're not going to script our lineage and our culture away and make it into what you want to make it into. Just like that Dominican guy who said that we need to change Black History Month. And he was saying that, you know, you guys in America, you think you're the only Black people. We know that there's Black people all over this place, all over this globe. They were African slaves took to Brazil. They were African slaves in Europe, the UK, in Canada, all down the Caribbeans, even in the Dominican Republican, all of that. We know African slaves were all over this place because slavery was a big thing. Those Africans were selling a whole bunch of slaves back in the day. They were capturing people and just throwing their ass into slavery. People they didn't like, they were just throwing them in slavery. Some of these African tribes sold their own damn people into slavery. They became slaves. So we know there's Black people all over this globe. But we represent the Black people in America. Stop trying to change that. We've been here since the beginning of this country. We created all these music genres. That's something else I want to correct that I heard people were saying. Because that girl was saying, well, Black American men is the reason why our men act like this. You know, they're influencing our men. Let's be honest, Black Americans are trendsetters. We influence the whole globe, to be quite honest. You can find people in China and Japan mimicking Black American people. That's where you're getting that Afro beat from. That's where you got reggae from. Our music in America. Because if you listen to some of those people in Africa with that rapping and that singing, they're trying to emulate American rap and they're trying to emulate R&B and pop with that African beat shit. Same thing with reggae. When it came to reggae, you know how reggae first started? It started off of Black American people's music, jazz, rhythm and blues. Go Google it. That's how you got reggae. So how in the hell did Jamaicans create hip hop? I heard you guys saying that. Now I understand that hip hop and rap have become something that is degenerate and vulgar and sexist and violent and selling drugs. We understand that's what hip hop has become because of these dumbass Black American men. But hip hop did not start out like that. Hip hop and rap was all about like telling a story. It wasn't what it became today. Like all that mumble rap that's coming out of Florida and Georgia, all these mumble rappers, even though the South is holding the rap game down right now. It's the Southeast is holding it down. Okay? But because hip hop and rap culture has become so disgusting and so degenerate and sexist and violent, I want a red bone, I'm selling crack, I'll shoot them boys up on the block, gang culture. Black males in America have made it into that, but that's not what it originated as. So I understand that y'all do not want to claim hip hop and y'all do not want to claim rap, but to tell that Jamaican woman that hip hop started with Jamaicans, that's a bold-faced lie. And I'm not calling nobody out, but if you don't know the history, please stop telling them that. Because they'll go around start saying that they created hip hop. They did not. Do your research. Do your research. They were already rapping. They were already dancing around on the floors. They were already putting music together and singing and rapping on beats way before the 70s. They did not create hip hop. They was a part of hip hop as it was growing. Same thing with the Latinos. They didn't create hip hop. Them Jamaicans damn sure didn't create hip hop. How the hell you gonna create hip hop when you use reggae, when you start doing reggae based off Black American music genre, like jazz and rhythm and blues? They did not create hip hop. I know you don't want to claim hip hop because the Black American man is disgusting. I know y'all don't want to claim that, but that's an American, Black American genre. Y'all are giving them Jamaicans too much credit on that panel. And I was kind of blown away that y'all really believe that Jamaicans created hip hop. No, they did not. No, they didn't. We created all of these music genre in America. Google it. We created rock and roll. We created country. We created rhythm and blues, R&B. We created soul, funk. What else we created? So many things that we created. Soul, bebop. We created hip hop. We didn't need these people from other countries to create these things. These people latched themselves onto these things when these things became popular. And they wanted to be in the in crowd, especially in New York City. Especially in New York City. But they did not create that. So don't go around telling them the Jamaicans created that. Just because you saw Jay-Z and Biggie Smalls and Nicki Minaj, they didn't create a fucking thing. They were already rapping before these people even came around, especially with Nicki Minaj. She's not the queen of hip hop. She's the queen for right now, but she didn't start this shit here. There were people like Queen Latifah, and it was another Black woman from Wilmington, North Carolina, that was the first Black woman that ever stopped rapping. But Nicki immigrated here, became an illegal immigrant as a kid, and her mother kept her. And then eventually they got some citizenship, some type of paperwork to turn her into an American citizen. She was an illegal immigrant for years in her childhood. Her mother just brought her here, never took her back home. And that's what happens with a lot of the people that come from the Caribbean. That's the part you guys are not telling nobody. A lot of you are illegal immigrants. Not all, but a lot. So it's just not the Latinos that are legal immigrants. There are white people in this country that came from European countries and stuff. They never went home. You got Black people that come in this country on work visas and travel visas, never go home. I looked it up. Look up Google overstay visas and illegal immigrant and tell me who's the number one group of people that overstayed their visas. I want y'all to go look at that chart and you tell me what color are the people. The number one group of people that overstayed their visas is Jamaicans. It's Jamaicans. So tell us about you do this and you got your degrees and you making more money than us and you all well put together. Tell us about those illegal immigrants that don't go home. Tell us about the criminals that commit these crimes against Black Americans here. Because I saw a couple months ago, there was a Black girl that went missing in Texas somewhere. And I believe she was a scripper. I cannot remember her name, but she had got a ride from a guy to go fill out an application at a restaurant or a bar, a scripper bar or something like that. And she disappeared. Come to find out, I think a couple of weeks or months later, I think it took about 2 or 3 months to find out what happened with her. Come to find out who killed that Black American woman was a fucking Nigerian man. And that happened just a couple months ago. So a lot of these Nigerian men are committing crimes in this country. Courtney Taylor, the white girl who stabbed her Nigerian king in his heart, he was from Nigeria. And he was over here fetishizing white women. A lot of these men from other countries, they do not want the women in their own countries. They want American Black women, or they want women in these other countries that are non-Black. They don't even want you. I've had African men try to hit on me when I used to live in North Carolina, but that's not my cup of tea. I don't even like Black American men, so I know I ain't gonna like your man. I work with Jamaican. They're not bad people. They're really not. They're sweet to me, but because we work together, we all get along. But they're not married to their baby mamas. There's 2 Jamaican guys that work with me. Those dudes are not married. They got baby mamas. They got baby mamas, and one of them came over here and made a baby mama. So he don't have to go back to Jamaica. So we know what's going on. But this needs to be, this needs to be talked about, because in order to have a sisterhood, we need to be honest with each other. That we know that y'all have those feelings about Black American women, and some Black American women, they got them feelings about y'all. I don't look down on you guys, but don't come here and disrespect my country. I won't disrespect your country. Don't disrespect mine. We have to learn how to get along. Whatever Black American men are doing, they didn't influence your men to do that. Your men were already doing that. They are, we are the trendsetters. So we do, a lot of Black American men, they do create horrible examples of what to look up to. But they're horrible men, but your men are horrible too. And so in order for you to really move in these divestment spaces and to truly be divested, you cannot be a mammy to these Black males. Just because I got a Black father, and I'm not talking about a part-time father, I'm talking about a full-time father. Like, my father was actually good. Like, I don't have to come on here in front and say I had a father. My father only came to see me on the weekends, and really he wasn't a good father. No, I'm not going to front like that. But just because I had a good father, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to say all Black men ain't shit. I even say that to my father. I don't curse, but I tell him Black men ain't worth nothing. They're not good peoples. Even he agrees with a lot of the things I say, because he says it. That Black men are lazy. All they want to do is steal people's shit. They're so disrespectful. They ain't got no manners. They don't want to take care of their kids. My father says this out of his mouth. That's where I got it from. I've heard it a long time. These Black men are lazy. They're not the same. They don't try to take care of their kids. They don't even try to work. My father says that. But just because I had a full-time father, my father is still married to my mother, and he treats his daughters good, don't mean I'm not going to say all Black men are good. No, they're not. I'm going to say hashtag all. No, we cannot do that. It doesn't matter if you got a father in your life, if you got a husband, if you got a son, you got a brother, you got a cousin. It don't matter. However they treat you, don't have nothing to do with what we're talking about. On a collective scale, these Black men are trash globally. In America, they're real, real hot trash. But around the globe, these men aren't shit, and that's why you women are here. That's why you have to come here. You have to come here to work. You have to come here to go to school. Some of you are running away from those countries because you can't live amongst those Black males. And we understand that. And we welcome you here, but don't disrespect our culture. And if you're not going to ride for us, don't act like you are. Don't spit on the graves of my ancestors, because my peoples have been here. I don't know about nobody else, but when we went down my family tree, we've been here at least 7, 8 generations. 7, 8 generations as far as we can go back. My great-grandmother was born in 1900. So her parents were born before that. They were born into slavery. Okay? So, respect people, respect where people culture. Stop saying Black Americans don't got no culture. We got a whole culture. You're in our culture. You're living in our culture. Honestly, the Black American culture is the American culture. Because you even have some of these white people trying to be Black. I know y'all see these wiggers and these white girls walking around with braids and all type of shit, baby hair, and these wiggers walking around with these Black American men haircuts, trying to, shape up their hair like that and wearing gold teeth. I know y'all see this. Even the Latino people are emulating Black American culture. Y'all are living in Black American culture, acting like you don't know we got a culture. And for the Black Americans that go around saying we ain't got no culture and we ain't shit, y'all need to do y'all history. The Black male ain't shit. But Black American women and our Black American ancestors, those women were lit. They helped build this country, and they played hand in hand in getting us where we are today. If they didn't went through what they went through, we wouldn't have everything that we have right now. And I know that when our ancestors were going through that, I bet they never dreamed that we would ever get out of slavery, that we would ever be anything. And even though we're fucking up everything that they work hard to give us, we're fucking it up. We're an embarrassment, to be honest, to our ancestors. I bet they never dreamed that we would ever get here. So we owe them everything we got. Our ancestors' bones are here in America, not in Africa, not in Jamaica. They're here. They're here. And, That's just to start a conversation, but I'm not going to keep rambling about it. I wish you guys well. I hope no one is offended by it. I respect you guys if you want to rep your country. But if you want to be an American, you need to make up your mind. Like, are you an American or what are you? Are you black or are you not black? Because one minute you want to be black and one minute, hey, don't call me black. I'm Nigerian. I'm from Kenya. I'm not black. I'm not black American. I'm a Dominican. I'm not black. I'm not black American. So make up your mind. One minute you want to be black, one minute you don't. Whenever black is getting like recognized for doing something positive, that's when you people want to be black. But when it's time to fight for anything, you guys don't want to be black, and you do not fight on the side of the black Americans. You just don't. You just don't. But you're looking for a sisterhood, and you want to see black women's empowerment when you don't even have respect for us in our own country. We don't go to your country and disrespect you like that. That's not right. We don't go to Jamaica and just start telling you people what to do and saying that you people are not worth shit. We don't go bothering you in Nigeria telling you, oh, you need to do this and you need to do that. But you come to America and you think that, oh, this is the white man's land. Honey, we helped build this country. Even though the black male probably would not have built it or helped to build it if he wasn't in chains, he still did it. He still adds something to this culture. He's destroying this culture because black American men, they destroyed black American culture. And now they're destroying our country. We get it. They're a bad influence on every damn body. But they're not the reason why your men don't want you or the reason why your men are assaulting you and violating you as children and leaving you as single mothers and abandoning you and not taking care and protecting you. That's not the reason. They've always done that. Black men have never protected black women. So there's no reason to be asking black men for protection because they've never given us that. That's why we were in slavery for that long. But we got to be real about the accomplishments of black Americans in this country. They've done a whole lot. And a lot of you girls are really young, so you don't understand that, and you're lost, and you don't understand that black people created a lot of things in this country. They did. They made this country lit. They made it lit. And that's why black Americans are known as the face of black people globally. That's why when you come here, people think that you're a black American. This is our country. We represent the black people in this country. You represent the black people in your country, wherever you come from. We need respect in order to build a sisterhood. We need to be able to talk about these things and have respect for each other. I don't think I'm better than nobody else, but you don't get the right to tell me that my peoples didn't do anything. You don't get to say that we are the dusty, we're the most dusty, but your ass is here. And when you get those job applications and those college applications, you have to check that box and say, what? African American / black. In America, they acknowledge that you guys come from other countries, but they damn sure don't acknowledge you with the paperwork. When it comes to the census and the job applications, they don't acknowledge you. They acknowledge the African American, so you have no choice but to be one once you're here. You came here. We didn't go to your country. Just always remember that. And that's all I have to say. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Like, thumbs up the video, share, subscribe. I know some people may get offended. Oh, well, if you don't like my content, just, go on about your business. But I like to keep it real. I like to be honest. We're going to say all black men. It doesn't matter if you got a good father or you got a husband or your son is pretty decent and he's not a criminal and he ain't got no babies out of wedlock and you teach your son to be a better man. It does not matter. Collectively, on a global scale, black males are failures. Not providers, not protectors, failures. And that's it. Bye-bye now.